welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel. I am joined with Slothy and Sherman. How are you guys doing, Slothy?
I'm pretty tired this morning, but I'm otherwise pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm on vacation. I'm not working on stuff. Woo, I'm doing nothing on my vacation, but organizing everything because I've got too much stuff. You're tired because you were at a concert, right?
Yeah.
Uh, which one was it? Windrose or
Yeah, I was Windrose last night.
was it a fun show?
Um, oh yeah. The energy in there was absolutely insane. Um,
Dope.
I was in the pit the entire time.
Oh
Some
man.
sore today,
Yeah, sore and tired.
but it was a blast.
It they look like it would be a really fun show if which is what's their big song again? Is that the dig hole one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone's heard the I Am a Dwarf and I'm Digging a Hole song. It's a great song if you haven't. But yeah, that would have been a crazy good show to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and Sherman, how are you doing?
I'm tired. I'm so tired. Work is crazy. But on the bright side, my taxes are done.
Ugh.
Tax season. I hope you guys did your taxes already.
I never do my taxes.
Woo!
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
I'm not paying the two to the government. Let's go. Disclaimer, this cannot be used in court.
Ah.
That's too funny. I'm pretty sure today's episode actually has some of that stuff in it. Hey, Slothy?
It sure does.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like speaking of which, we're doing Slothy's deck tech today on who is this?
We've got Vihaan Goldwaker. He costs Mardu for a 3/3 Dwarf Warlock. Other outlaws you control have vigilance and haste, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have treasures you control become 3/3 construct, assassin, artifact, creature tokens, in addition to their other types until end of turn. I don't think this card was spoiled for 10 minutes before I mentioned that I was building a deck on it.
Yeah, I knew these are your colors, this is your play style, you live for the artifacts.
Yeah.
You live for treasures, let alone artifacts. You live for
Hey, I'm a simple guy, what can I say?
This is actually as well, like for how strong of a commander this isn't a crazy expensive deck.
How
No.
expensive is this?
I tried to keep this one down. I am working on a more expensive version that has like the smothering tithe. Spoiler, there's no smothering tithe in here.
Let's go.
But yeah, he seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, that's the like I've said when we were doing the spoilers, right? Usually when you get a lot of treasures, you have to have something to do with them, right? If I've got no cards in hand or no big spells, having 100 mana doesn't matter if I don't have something to spend 100 mana on.
Yeah, exactly.
However, having 100 mana that can turn into 3/3 construct assassins kind of does matter.
Good luck evading these taxes, Dan.
Oh, I don't like these ones, yeah. My chickens have come to roost with this, hey? We'll jump right into your artifacts. I'll start us off with it. We've got our normal kind of ramp stuff. We've got a signet. You, like I say all the time, you need a signet in colors like this. There's no ramp that is better than the signet in that.
Absolutely.
And then we have Ashnod's Altar for 3 mana. Most people know this, some of you might not, but all you do is sacrifice a creature to add 2 colorless mana. Such a workhorse.
Yeah. Then we've got Beamtown Beatstick. It's a single red for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has menace. And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, create a treasure token, and it has equipped for 2.
That's annoying. I like
Yeah.
that. That's really good to put on Slicer, actually.
That is in my Slicer deck.
Yeah, Slicer's a menace. I really like the before we moved on, I wanted to say I really like that Ashnod's Altar, being able to turn your treasures into double mana. It's kind of fun, right? It's gold span dragon on a budget.
We have Goldspan Dragon at home.
Exactly. We've got to borrow Signet again. We need our ramp. So 2 mana, 1 and a tap. You add 1 red, 1 white. Easy enough.
And then we have the Bounty Board for 3 mana. Tap it to add 1 mana of any color. And you can tap 1 and tap it. Put a bounty counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery, though. And whenever a creature with a bounty counter on it dies, each of its controller's opponents draws a card and gains 2 life. I like this. I like this card. Like, I enjoyed it when we were doing the spoilers for Thunder Junction, and yeah.
It seems versatile.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great theme for the card, like a bounty board. You put a bounty counter on something, and then everyone else tries to like go after it so they can draw a card and gain 2 life. Like, it is great on theme.
Mhm.
Well, it incentivizes removal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's easier to make excuses like, oh, well, I had to kill it. I needed the draw. I'm almost dead.
Yeah.
I need that 2 life. I just don't
Yeah.
like you as a person. I needed to kill that creature. Any of these are acceptable ways.
The next one we've got here is Clock of Omens. 4 mana. You can tap 2 untapped artifacts to control to untap target artifact.
Yeah, I know Clock of Omen shenanigans when I see Clock of Omen shenanigans.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Clock of Omens shenanigans in here.
It's kind of fun because you can, even just with that bounty board, you could just, if you have a Blasphemous Act, you could just bounty counter everyone else's stuff and be like, I'm drawing 30 cards. And my tokens aren't creatures yet. Go to combat. When do they become creatures?
At the beginning of
At
combat.
the beginning of combat. So you can safely board wipe and then just recast your commander.
Yep.
That's really gross.
Stupid.
I like that. We have our Diamond Pickaxe, one that I always have in Slicer. 1 red, it's indestructible, it's an equipment. Equipped creature gets 1/1 and has, whenever it attacks, create a treasure token, and you equip for 2.
Always good. Always good. We have next the Eldrazi Monument for 5 mana. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have flying and indestructible. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. If you can't, you sacrifice the Eldrazi Monument.
You're taxing yourself in this deck.
Yeah. It's got to be equal opportunity, you know?
Everyone pays their fair share at this table.
Yeah.
I like it.
What's
I like
that?
it.
Then we've got Goldvein Pick, 2 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token, and it adds equip for 1.
I really like the amount of I'm for the rest of the episode calling it prospecting. I'm enjoying the amount of prospecting you're doing in this deck. Like you've got already, I think we're 6 artifacts deep, and you've already got 4 ways to make treasures. I'm a big fan of this this deck. Like I said, it's prospecting. That's all you got to say as well. It's just I'm prospecting. I'm just digging for gold.
Yeah, I'm just mining.
Mining my own business. That should be the episode.
Mm.
I love it. We have the Liquid Metal Torque. It's 2 mana. You can tap it as a colorless, so just a rock, or target non-land permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types until end of turn. Let me scroll up to that Clock of Omens and remind everyone that you can untap target artifact, and Slothy has a way to make any permanent artifact.
Yay.
Well.
Yay.
Actually, this is in there just for the colorless ramp.
It
Oh,
could
sure.
be, but
Yeah,
Sure.
100%.
in fairness, untap any target artifact, and you could help anyone out. You could just be like, hey, like I'll ramp you 30 mana if you want. I'll untap your Signet 30 times. As long as you leave me
true.
alone.
It's group hug.
Exactly. It's group hug adjacent.
It depends on what do you have for creature. We'll get to the creatures later. I'm just wondering like, if you have something like a Hell's Caretaker or something like that.
I do not, but there is a
Okay.
creature that this goes with.
Of course. All right. I'm going to take the next 2 just because they're both signets. So we have first off the Orzhov Signet for 2 mana. You can tap 1 and tap it to add both a white and a black. And then we have the Rakdos Signet for 2 mana again. You tap 1 and tap it to add black and a red.
Yeah. Then we've got Skull Clamp. 1 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/-1, and whenever equipped creature dies, draw 2 cards, and it has equipped for 1.
Wow, you can draw so many cards. Like if you had, let's see. So let's say you had 6 treasures. You tap 1 treasure, sacrifice it to equip another one, and then you tap itself and sacrifice it to draw 2 cards, and you equip it to another one. So you can draw a lot of cards.
Yeah.
You can draw like 10 cards from doing that.
That's
Stupid.
What's this Soul Ring from?
This is the Thunder Junction.
The Precon one?
Yeah.
I really like it. I didn't know they did a new artwork for it.
Yeah.
I like the fact they're doing new artwork for all the Soul Rings now.
I've been enjoying that. It's when you have a card that's across every deck, it does get a little stale to see the same art all the time. So,
Yeah,
but,
true.
as I said here, we have a Soul Ring. It's 1 mana. It taps. It adds 2 mana. It's it's everything you need in a ring.
Yeah.
And since this is Slothy and his deck, we have this card that we will ignore and go on to the next one. So we have Strixhaven Stadium for 3 mana. You can tap it to add a colorless, and you put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from Strixhaven Stadium. Now, that's not the fun part. The fun part for Slothy is whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put a point counter on the stadium. Then, if it has 10 or more point counters on it, remove them all, and that player loses the game.
That's a good one.
Stupid.
I love it as an extra win con and stuff, right? Like you have someone who's playing lots of life. It's infect adjacent.
Yeah, infect adjacent. It helps deal with those problem players.
I like it.
Then we've got our Swiftfoot Boots. 2 mana, it's an equipment. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste, and it has equip for 1.
Yeah. You've also got your. I'll take our 2 talismans, and I'll get us back where we need to be. So we've got our first is Talisman of Conviction. It's going to be 2 mana. You can tap for colorless, or you can pain land ping yourself for either red or white and take a damage. And then we have the same with the Talisman of Hierarchy, which I just love the artwork on. I can never get over how cool that little like chessboard is. But yeah, it's the 2 mana. Again, taps for a colorless or 1 black, 1 white, and 1 damage to you. Which, again, in Commander games, that doesn't matter. No one cares about losing those. Like, they're such good rocks.
Yeah. And then we have one more talisman.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'll take that one too. All right, Talisman of Indulgence. Slothy is really indulging in these talismans. It's going to be 2 mana. You can tap for 1 colorless or tap for a red and a black. Red or a black, not and a black. Let's not be crazy. Red or a black and 1 damage to you again. So a decent little artifact section there.
Yeah.
Like I said, you've got a lot of already treasure generation in the artifact section kind of passively, which is nice. And artifact isn't usually where those treasure things come from. They come from like enchantments a lot of the time, right? Or spells. Do you want to hit your creature section next, or where do you want to go?
Really doesn't matter.
All right, let's jump right into creatures. I'll start us off because I love the card. You got Academy Manufacturer because you have to. How can you not? It's 3 mana. If you create a clue, food, or treasure, instead you create one of each. With the amount of good stuff that they started putting into like foods and clues, that's awesome. And you got so much mana because you're a treasure making deck, so throwing those clues away for draw, easy.
Yeah.
And then we have, annoyingly, a Blood Artist for 1 and a black. So it's a vampire, a 0/1. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is going to do some stupid work when all your treasures are creatures.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because I guess they don't lose that ability to tap and sacrifice. They just become creatures. They're still mana, and you can
Yeah.
still just turn them into creatures and be like, I sack 40 treasures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like that.
Next up, we've got Captain Lannery Storm, 2 in a red for a 2/2 legendary human pirate with haste. Pirate is an outlaw. Whenever Captain Lannery Storm attacks, create a treasure token. And whenever you sacrifice a treasure, Captain Lannery Storm gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
Kind of cool to be able to blitz, so you have to block Lannery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this one was another crazy card that they just printed. I forget about this one all the time because there's no good reason they printed this. Your crime novelist, the Goblin Bard himself, 2 and a red for a 1/3 Goblin Bard. Whenever you sack an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on it and add a red. That's just silly. Extra ramp like in your treasures. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I really need that for like the old. Do you remember old like Duretti, like the Planeswalker Duretti?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Kind
love
of.
it was one of the first like cycle of can be your commanders.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was all about like sacrificing and bringing artifacts back. That's such a fun deck, and
Now I remember.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and this is just like the perfect card for it. That's the problem with having too many decks is you just never get to go and upgrade them all like they need to be. But I'm on vacation. Maybe I'll upgrade a lot of decks this week. Maybe I'll become a real problem.
You have like 600 decks.
Oh, you are far behind. I'm closer to like 800, if not slightly over 800 right now. And hang on, we also did just a great spot for a plug. Great generic spot. We just got like in our mail here a giant shipment of sleeves from AI Armor. So now usually the only thing that stops me from building new decks is I don't have sleeves. I run the game store out of sleeves all the time. I just don't have sleeves in general. But we just got a ton of very, very high quality sleeves from the AI Armor stuff. You guys saw some in the game. I'll put some on Instagram for everyone like throughout the coming week. You'll see them up. And I think we're recording some games tonight, so you guys will see them there too. Because I think Sherman's also out of sleeves.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take apart more decks, because every time I take them apart, then I have to, reorganize everything.
I would rather set a deck on fire than unsleeve it. And I don't even double sleeve them. I got no patience for that. I'll turn it upside down and just shake it around violently. Yeah. But anyways, as I was saying, AI Armor, you can find them on what is their website will be in the description link, but also they sell on Amazon. They're really, really cool sleeves. They are they're not matte. Like they're not matte, but they feel matte. And they don't pile over like all the Dragon Shield ones do until you've had them on for like a month.
Yeah, you don't need to build up that grime.
That's the Dorito dust that holds the deck together.
Yeah.
The glue that bonds us is just Cheetos.
Oh.
We are a mess as a group. But yeah, anyways, a great spot for it. And again, I need to be upgrading some decks. I should do some of that this weekend. And I've got too many. I've got a lot. Should I make like 10 more decks? He sent a lot of sleeves. He sent a lot of sleeves.
Oh my goodness.
I'll
moving on.
One sec, I'm flipping it over just to your camera so you could see the lovely sticker too. Oh no, that's the magnet one, right?
Yeah, I have the magnet.
There you go. Yeah, definitely go support AI Armor. He makes great stuff. Yeah. Back to the deck. Right. Slothy, you're an animal.
Next one we have is Cyberman Patrol for 2 mana. It's a artifact creature Cyberman. That's the 2/2. But the fun part is artifact creatures you control have afflict 3. So no matter what, when you're attacking with the treasures, they're gonna take 3 damage.
You're taking 3.
You will be taxed.
Yeah. That you can block, you can not block, you can really.
I'm so glad. Card. I'm so glad. When you take afflict damage, it doesn't count as combat damage.
Right.
Thank goodness for that. It's part of the ability, so you don't take it. Yay.
I think afflict is even worse though, because I think afflict is loss of life. Is it not?
Afflict is depending player loses 3 life. Yeah.
Yeah, loss of life. So like damage prevent doesn't stop you from doing that.
Yeah.
It's gross. I lose my own life. Ugh.
No thanks.
Next up, we've got the Hellkite Tyrant. 4 double red for a 6/5 dragon with flying and trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game.
A second win con.
I do.
This one I honestly might cut. Um,
I don't know. I like
I don't-
that you have so many other ways to win.
yeah.
It's I'm a fan. The Hellkite Tyrant win is always fun to pull off.
True.
At least it's at the beginning of the upkeep, so everyone has a turn to get rid of it.
Yeah,
Do you have Magda in here?
I do.
You animal. That's really funny. Oh, I guess you can Clock of Omens Magda too to keep making treasures. I'm catching on to your shenanigans here.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, you can.
Oh.
You can right before you go into if you have your Clock of Omens out and stuff, you can basically just like turn all of your treasures into extra treasures, like Magda as a treasure doubler that way
Oh, I just had Magda in here.
to fetch dragons.
No, to get treasures, and then was like, oh, you know what? I might as well throw at least one dragon in here.
I'm just saying. Some tap shenanigans with it. It could be fun.
Yeah.
We have this, especially because you can turn Magda into an artifact, and then you can tap 2 artifacts to untap target artifact. Magda's the artifact you untap, and
Go silly.
exactly. Magda go crazy, and you keep making. I think that actually makes you infinite mana.
No, unless you double up the token generation, because Magna says like whenever you tap a dwarf. Let's just go to Magna real fast here. We're going to go out of order here, so just so everyone understands what we're talking about. So, Magna, Brazen Outlaw for 1 in red. Legendary creature Dwarf Berserker is a 2/1. Other dwarfs you control get +1/+0. Whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token, and you sacrifice 5 treasures, search your library for an artifact or a dragon card, put that card on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So what we're talking about is we're saying if we take the Liquid Metal Torque and we tap it to make Magna an artifact, then we have Clock of the Omens. So we can find a way to tap Magna.
Well, no, you tap Magda with the clock, so you go infinite.
Oh
Because-
yeah, so you tap Magna with the Clock of Omens to tap, but you have to tap 2 artifacts. So that's the thing.
Yeah, so look, so we tap the first, tap just any treasure and Magda, and then use
Oh,
clock
I
to
see, yeah,
untap
yeah.
Magda, and Magda tapping makes us a treasure. We tap that treasure, Magda, untap Magda, make another treasure. We tap the new treasure, and we just keep
So it's
going.
infinite tapped treasures.
Infinite tap
Yeah.
treasures. And
Okay.
but Magda's ability is search your sack 5 treasures, search for an artifact or dragon, put it onto the battlefield. So you can use that as a fetch any of your artifacts out immediately, like your Skull Clamp, like your Eldrazi Monument, which is quite problematic to just have show up on the field out of the blue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're catching on to you, Slothy. We're catching on to you.
I swear that that's too big. That's too big brain for me.
I play with all the silly people, so I was like, wait, we have Clock of Omens. I was like, what are we going infinite with?
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, well, back into our order. We have Impulsive Pilferer, a Goblin Pirate, which is another outlaw. Is that correct? Pirates, yeah.
Yes.
It's 1 red, 1/1. When it dies, create a treasure, and then it has Encore, 3 in a red. So you exile it for each opponent you make it. So good treasure, Goblin.
This next one is originally what I put Clock of Omens in there for.
Oh, that's also a
Oh.
problem.
So we got Jan Jansen, Chaos Crafter for Mardu. It's a Gnome Artificer, legendary creature. It's a 3/3. It has haste. You can tap it, sacrifice an artifact creature, create 2 treasures. Or you can tap it, sacrifice a non-creature artifact, create 2 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature tokens. I can see that.
Let it be known that is also infinite treasure and infinite creature tokens.
Yes.
Oi.
I like that a lot. You really do like those constructs, hey?
I do.
Yeah, because
Um,
Jan becomes You sack an artifact creature, so even if you just sack one treasure to it, you have to tap Jan and... No, you don't even have to tap the other treasure, so you just create 2 treasures by throwing one away. So yeah, this one's infinite untapped treasures. This is just better.
Yep.
But how will you fetch a dragon?
Point and say, hey, everyone, look over there.
Yeah, when everyone's picking up, because I make 2 million constructs. Rakdos Charm.
Ooh, that is an instant. And they're all
get,
tapped, so you can't sacrifice them fast enough.
I get Rakdos Charmed a lot.
All the time.
A lot. It's not great. Yeah. Slothy, take us to the next one.
Yeah, next up we've got Kellogg, Dangerous Mind. 1 black and a red for a 3/2 legendary human mercenary. So it is an outlaw with first strike and haste. Whenever Kellogg attacks, create a treasure, sacrifice 5 treasures, gain control of target creature for as long as you control Kellogg. Activate only as a sorcery.
That's rough.
Thank goodness for that sorcery speed.
That's rough when you have so many treasures. Well, even with that's 3 mana that just comes down in your turn, and you just say, "I'm taking 15 creatures."
I'm taking all of this. Thank you very much.
Yikes! That's fun.
It's time for you to pay your taxes.
Oh.
Ah.
You don't pay your taxes, I steal your children.
Ah. True enough, right? Next we have this Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff. Tolkien's wild, the way he's writing any of that stuff. 1 black, 1 white for a 2/1 halfling rogue. It does hit the outlaw. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, you lose a life and create a treasure. That's fine. We don't care. Losing a life doesn't matter.
No.
We have our Magda again.
Yeah. So we'll get past that.
If you're
We
me, you
just
have 2
talked about-
Magdas in the deck anyways.
Yeah. We have Mahadi Emporium Master for 1 in a black and a red. It's a legendary creature, Cat Devil. It is 3/3. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. That's stupid.
That's phenomenal inclusion, because then you don't lose anything for treasures for using them. You just power sacrifice them and get them all back.
Yeah, so you have them like 10 treasures at the beginning of combat. You don't attack with them. You just sack all 10 for 10 mana, and then Magna says, "Hey, look, you get them back."
Yeah. I see this
That's
as an
so
absolute win.
stupid.
I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of that inclusion there.
Next one we've got is Mari the Killing Quill. 1 double black for a 3/2 legendary vampire assassin. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, exile it with a hit counter on it. Assassins, mercenaries, and rogues you control have death touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a hit counter from a creature that player owns in exile. If you do, draw a card and create 2 treasures.
Solid.
The tokens that Vihaan makes the treasures into are assassins.
That's true. That's true.
Whenever this creature, assassins, mercenaries, and rogues have death touch, which is problematic, and whenever this creature deals combat damage, you may remove a hit counter from a card that player owns in exile. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
How do they get hit counters on them, though?
Whenever
when they
creatures die.
Yeah, you just have to read the card or listen when you talk. Interesting enough. I'm not.
Yeah, this was a great card from a New Capenna.
New Capenna was a weird set. I liked it. I think I liked it.
There were a lot of really
I liked Jetmir, I'll tell you that.
quiet but good cards in there.
Yeah, Jetmir was not one of them.
No.
Jetmir was like another one, just kind of like Voja, that was just problematic, and there was no reason that they printed something so wild like that.
Yeah, true.
I'm still not over how annoying Voja is as a card. It makes me sad. I wanted it to be more fun to play against. It's like Toxrill 2.0.
Oh,
Yeah, right. We have our Marionette Master, which is it's got to go in every deck like this. It's 4 double black for a 1/3 Human Artificer with Fabricate 3. When this creature enters, you put 3/1/1 counters on it or create 3/1/1 colorless servos. Honestly, I normally create the servos because that's pretty awesome to have just extra blockers. But
Yeah.
whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to Marionette Master's power, which just turns your treasures into like an instant death threat.
Yeah. So many win cons in this deck. Holy smokes.
Yeah. I like it so
So
far.
many. All right. Oh, we got the fun one here. Mastermind Plum for 2 and a black. Legendary creature, human wizard for 2/2. Whenever Plum attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. If an artifact card was exiled this way, create a treasure token. Whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, you draw a card and you lose 1 life.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a wild draw engine.
That's so many draws. You don't care if you lose the 1 life. Heck, you get a card.
Like, again,
Exactly.
yeah, it doesn't matter if I end the game with 1 life. As long as everyone else has 0, I win. So
Yeah. They
life
don't
is
ask
a
how, they
resource.
ask how many.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, we've got Mayhem Devil, 1 black and red for a 3/3 Devil. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target.
Ugh, mean. I like how much you can ping by throwing those treasures away.
Yeah.
The
Speaking of which,
yeah, the same thing. You've got so many of them, like Mirkwood Bats, which was a super good card. It's like one of the best commons printed in a long time.
Absolutely.
3 and a black. It's a 2/3 flying. Whenever you create or sack a token, each opponent loses a life. That's wicked. That again makes your treasures like so dangerous.
my goodness. So it's like basically like 2 life loss. If you create a treasure and then you sack a treasure, it's 2 life loss.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't like
All right,
that.
we got Mere Entity for 2 and a white. It's a shapeshifter for a 1/1. It has changeling, so there's every creature type. Sorry. You can pay X, and then until end of turn, creatures you control have base power and toughness XX and gain all creature types.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, a problem when you can make so many creatures.
He's just a
Yeah.
little guy.
He's just a little boy.
Yeah.
You have some really mean cards in here.
It's group hug adjacent.
It's I said that when I was playing my Talks Roll one, and I at least had some I had some things to make people draw this. I don't see this is hurtful. Group hug because you're putting me to bed.
We've got bounty board.
Yeah, true. I guess you're not wrong. Get a Howling Mine in here, and you've got me in.
I actually had that in the first cut.
Let's go.
But next up, we've got Nadir's Nightblade. 2 and a black for a 1/3 elf warrior. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life, and I gain 1 life.
That's it's a problem. It's a real problem.
Slothys is always the problem. Let's face it.
Hey, that's not true.
A lot of well, and you also finally have a way to get that life back, but a lot of the loss of life, lice of loss. My brain's broken. A lot of the loss of life cards really get around things that are brutal to actually deal with, right? Like the fact that you can get over any prevent damage and stuff. I cast like a fog, for instance, because you have 80 treasures trying to kill me. You say that's fine. I sacrifice them.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
That's fine. You can fog as much as you want.
Yeah. The other what's it called? Yeah, you got my brain broken with that card. I love the art on this one is what I was trying to say. Olivia Opulent Outlaw is very, very cool looking. It's 1/1 red, 1 white, 1 black, 3/3 vampire assassin with flying and lifelink. Awesome. Whenever 1 or more outlaws you control deal combat damage to a player, you get a treasure token. Awesome. Then it has 3 sack 2 treasures, put 2/1 counters on each creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. That is problematic. It's you could even use this as if you wanted to chill the deck down a little. You could use this as like an alternative commander and just be like, okay, we're playing still outlaws, but
yeah.
because you're in a heavy treasure theme. I love when there's an extra commander option in the deck, so you can change it out and play it kind of a different game if you want.
Yeah, that's kind of something that I've been doing with a lot of my multicolored decks recently. Having at least one or two other legendaries that could go in front.
I keep doing that, but that's because I keep making decks that aren't legal pairings, quote unquote. Man, I love to make illegal pairings of things. I still have to finish my Codsworth one.
Cogsworth, oh man.
Yeah, Sherman, please.
Yeah, we got the Pitiless Plunderer for 3 and a black. Human Pirate, it's a 1/4. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. So, at least you can't go infinite with this. And I'm really glad to see the price drop down for this.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. Imagine this with Mahadi. So let's say you had 10 treasures, your commander turns them into creatures, you sack all during post combat, you sack all 10, you get 10 mana. They're all creatures, so with Pitiless Plunderer, you get another 10 treasures. You can sack those 10 treasures, so now you're at 20 mana. You cast whatever. Then Mahadi basically says you get 20 treasures again. That's stupid.
Yeah. The Mahadi, I've always wanted to build a deck around that card. It seems very fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh wait, hang on. You wouldn't get 20 treasures. You wouldn't get 10 because those other 10 that Pitiless Plunderer created weren't creatures still. Never mind. But still, it's still good. It's still good.
I always forget that Prosper is treasure carrying.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got Prosper Tomebound, 2 black and a red for a 1/4 legendary Tiefling Warlock with Death Touch. Mystic Arcanum. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. And Pact Boon. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token.
Decent.
Yeah.
I like it.
Prosper is always a problem.
Prosper prospecting. It's my vocal exercises when we start. Prosper prospect. Prosper prospect. We have our Reckless Fireweaver. 1 and a red because Slothys hates us. It's a 1/3 human artificer. Whenever an artifact enters under your control, 1 damage to each opponent. Can't see how that could be a problem.
No.
And then we have a fun card here. I love this card. Ruthless Knave. For 2 and a black, it's an Orc Pirate. 3/2. For 2 and a black, you can sacrifice a creature, create 2 colorless treasure tokens, and you can sacrifice 3 treasures to draw a card.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I got nothing bad to say about that one. That's it's pretty mean too. You have a lot of draw for a deck that doesn't have blue.
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of mana. You gotta have
something to
at
do
least
with
a couple ways to spend it other than just bonk.
Right? Got a little pocket change in this deck. I get it.
Yeah. Next one we've got is Stormkiln Artist, 3 and a red for a 2/2 Dwarf Shaman. Gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control, and it has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token.
Boom.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
We have Zorn. 2 and a red for a 3/2 elemental. If you would create 1 or more treasure tokens, instead create those tokens plus an additional treasure token.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a hard card to find. It's not wildly expensive, but it's never in stock. Everyone really likes to play treasures. By the way, I'm giving you props. I am seeing no dockside in here, and I respect it.
Nope. Doesn't fit in the budget.
Yes. No dockside,
no Ragavan.
Yeah.
No Smothering Tithe.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Honestly,
No.
I don't think you need it the way you're generating like treasures.
No, he doesn't need it at all. He does not need it at all.
No one needs it.
That kind of feels like a win more card in this deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like our budget right now is only like slightly under $200,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not bad. So let's go on to our last creature here though. So that's going to be the Zulaport Cutthroat for 1 and a black. It's a human rogue ally for a 1/1. When the Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So many win cons in here. So many.
Hey, just don't let anything die. Enter the battlefield. Leave the battlefield. Live. Um,
I
yeah.
like this.
Then
Yeah.
then you'll be just fine.
Don't let me
We have
cast
like
spells. Don't let me get
how,
to my turn.
Yeah. Don't let
how
me
many win cons
untap.
do we have so far? Like 5, 6?
If you count all the lose 1 life and gain 1 life separately, I think around 6.
1 second. Let
Golly.
me do a quick scroll through. So we got Strixhaven, which is 1.
Mm-hmm.
We have our ability to go infinite with 2 cards, which I'm counting as 2.
Yep, that's fair.
Hellkite Tyrant is a 4th. Your
Mm-hmm.
Cyberman Patrol is a 5th with the sack. Salting the board by taking all of the creatures with treasures with Kellogg is 7.
Marionette Master.
Yeah, 8. What else do
You
we
have
got here?
Mayhem
Yeah, 9.
Devil.
Yeah, 9. Mirkwood Bats is 10. Nadir is 11. Pitiless Plunder technically doesn't do it. Reckless Fireweaver sure does. 13. We got like 14 like immediate like drains and wins.
This is why we,
This is why you pack
we don't
removal.
negotiate with
This
terrorists.
is why you pack
Okay.
removal, yeah.
Okay, this was meant to be much more of just an aggro deck, but I can see how this could be the problem.
I like
Oh,
it.
it's aggro, all right. It's definitely aggro.
It was meant to be stupid treasure bunk, but it is not that.
We're talking win cons, and I already see your next line of cards, you monster.
Which one are you looking at?
I just started enchantments.
Oh,
Let's
um,
I'll start us into enchantments. Why not? Yeah, we're done.
sorry.
We're done our creatures, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start Slothy's lovely enchantment section. We've got intangible virtue. 1 and a white creature tokens you control get 1/1 in vigilance, which again problematic with how much drain you have, so you can still attack. That's rough.
Hmm.
My goodness. All right, we got monologue tax for 2 and white. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, you create a treasure token.
That's really good. I love that card. That
Oh,
card again is not expensive, but it needs a reprint really badly.
Yeah, it was only in the Osgear precon, I think, right?
You know what I'm gonna play tonight?
yeah.
If we record tonight, I'm gonna play the Barakos deck. I really this card's got me. I was like, this is only in a precon, I think, and now it's got me thinking about the party precon, the cleric one. I really like that
Hmm.
deck. I have
So
two.
you've talked about precons tonight. Sherman's talked about precons for tonight. Should I bring some precons for tonight?
Might as well.
Yeah, bring
Yeah.
whatever.
Like I start like anytime I buy a precon now, I have a precon, I want to play it at least once or twice before I take it apart, just to get a feel for it.
I've been
So
so busy with like my busy season at work that I haven't even got to go through the Karlov Manor precons. I think I only played
Hmm.
the face down one, which was a blast to play. I left that mostly. I think I actually left that fully unedited now. I took the stuff that I put in out because the out of the box deck was just really fun.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
like I was saying for the Outlaws of Thunder Junction, I got the Gonti one,
The Grand Larceny,
and
yeah.
I want to take it apart so that I because like it's based around stealing spells for it, but like I base mine around stealing land instead, because
I
it says
love
just
it.
so like
Should we build a
anytime like
Leshrac deck?
sorry.
I said, should we build a Leshrac deck while we're talking about this? The cumulative upkeep take a land? I can't see why not.
I like taking lands. Like it's like my thing right now. Like I have that. Like I have that. I have Smeagol deck that I'll bring.
Smeagol's cool.
So
I have
yeah,
we know I have some decks. We know I've got 1 or 2.
yeah.
Maybe.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyways,
so back to another win con of yours.
Yeah. We've got Revel in Riches, 4 and a black. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more treasures, you win the game.
So easy. So easy.
I cast it all the time, and then I'm like, I gotta throw my treasures away. I can't end it just yet. I dirtle. That's
Yeah.
my largest crime in games is I dirtle. I just try to because I want to see what other people can do. I want to see like I'm like, okay, I have an overwhelming board state, but can I lose? And I often do because I play with people like Sherman who actually put answers in their deck. That hurt me. That hurt me deeply in the Toxroll deck.
Hey man, like that was like if it weren't for the fact like you could have killed me, hands down,
I
hands
could have, but
down.
I
Like
didn't. There's many
yeah,
things I
I
could
was
have done in
left
mini games.
alone.
Yeah,
Oh man, I'm I was a little bit upset about that game. At the same time, like yeah. Anyways,
you won.
yeah,
I
barely.
I think this is a problem. The next card, Shared Animosity. 2 in a red. Whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets 1/0 until end of turn for each other attacking creature that shares a type with it. That's a problem because they're all constructs. That's
So
a
true,
big
so
issue.
true. Slothy's
Yeah.
always an issue at this point in time with this deck.
Why are
Good
these
lord.
treasures so buff?
They're gonna get more buff right now.
Slothy's treasures are all just like Greek sculptures, just flexing.
Next card with the next card, you're going to get even more buff. We're talking about tempered steel here for a 1 and 2 white. Artifact creatures you control get +2/+2, so they're going to get even bigger.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I like this list so far.
I'm glad.
It ends at enchantments because there's no instants and sorceries. That's the kind of deck I like to play. Good old Magic, you know.
This man right here speaking my mind. Our final enchantment here is a card I love in this deck. We got There and Back Again. 3 double red for a saga. First chapter. Up to 1 target creature can't block for as long as you control There and Back Again. The ring tempts you. Second, search your library for a mountain card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. And the third, create Smaug, a legendary 6/6 dragon creature token with flying haste, and when this creature dies, create 14 treasure tokens.
Okay, that's a problem.
Good lord.
Yeah, and it's worst case you're just getting bashed with a 6/6, and then when you do remove it, to be honest, you kind of just have to leave this card alone. You just have to accept the Smaug damage.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you 14 treasures. What's that? Like what's that? 52 damage of creatures?
Yep. Something like that.
Don't like
But
that.
I mean, if you don't want to give me the 14 treasures, I have
you have
several
sack
ways to do
outlets
it
too, yeah.
myself.
Yeah. So
Well-
you gotta exile it quickly somehow. You gotta get like 2 removal spells or something. I don't know. Bloody hell, it's stupid.
Well, we know no one's packing enchantment removal for that There and Back Again, so we've got to wait for a creature. All Swords to Plowshare this creature.
Play more removal spells, people. Play more interaction. This is why you play with more interaction.
Maybe the interaction is just the visiting with our friends. Maybe that's the interaction I need.
The interaction was the friends we made along the way.
Exactly. You do actually have instants in this deck because you hate me. We have a Braid. 1 and a red. You choose one. 3 damage to target creature, which is fun to kill a lot of low value commanders. As commander gets faster and faster, low value kill spells are better and better. The fact that we're in an era of Magic right now where you can pretty regularly just lightning bolt a creature and kill their commander is really funny to me.
Like it's interesting. Like because when you look at the history, or not the history, but like in the past at least, like 4 or 5 years ago, people barely put lightning bolts in because
No one played
that
it.
threshold.
Couldn't kill anything.
Yeah, you couldn't kill anything. Most things like were like you had a higher CMC cost. Like people would die like turn 7 or 8 or 9. You know, normally around the average, and the game was just a lot slower back then. Now the game is faster, but at the same time it's not. Like it takes an hour and a half to play a game because everyone's like doing so much on their turn. It's stupid.
Everyone's stopping me from the fun that I'm trying to have. That's what they're doing.
All right. Actually, you know what?
Oh, wait, sorry. And it does have another mode where you can also destroy artifacts because that's a problem too.
Yeah, and we have a liquid metal torque. So,
Oh yeah,
so,
I guess you do also have the torque, so you can any artifact.
I guess
removal.
so.
you know what? We should have a
Thank you,
discussion
Sherman.
in the future where like we should say like we should come up with like ideas on how wizards can lower or slow down power creep because it's getting crazy. Like I think that would be an interesting topic. I'm sorry that we're diverging a little bit here, but like it would be an interesting topic because everybody talks about power creep. What are the solutions for power creep? Like I don't want another Marcadian mask set coming out. Okay, like, but that is something we should discuss.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's keep going here. The next one we have is the big score, or sorry, big score. There is no the. It's
I like it as the big score.
It's a 3 in a red. An additional cost to cast a spell, you discard a card. Woo! But you get to draw 2 cards and create 2 treasures.
Yeah.
Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
Then we've got Boros Charm, red and a white. Choose one. Deals 4 damage to target player or planeswalker. Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn, or target creature gets double strike until end of turn.
That indestructibility, once again, this is why I like playing board wipes that force you to sacrifice as opposed to destroy. So Slaughter the Strong, things like that. Tragic Arians.
The power in sacrifice is much bigger.
Yeah.
That construct.
There's so much indestructibility now. It's so annoying.
Well, that charm is so readily available too, right? Like, and it does have really, really good modes. And there's a lot of creatures you have that just like Lannery Storm can end up killing you really, really easy if you don't take it seriously.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah, you don't want something silly like that to get a double strike. Or even your what's the Storm Kiln Artist. Again, like that can just suddenly become like a 20/20, and if you double strike it, that's brutal. It's the Boros Charm. Boros Charm gives, the Boros Charm takes.
Yep.
We have a Chaos Warp because that's how you build. You need it. Chaos Warp's like one of the better cards in the format still. It won't ever change, I don't think. 2 in a red. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent, they put it onto the battlefield. Okay. I like that trade.
Dice.
I like that trade.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't like that trade.
Yeah, sometimes that trade hurts me deeply.
Yeah.
I've more than once been like, oh, I'll get rid of your like just something it's mildly annoying me. I'll be like, oh, here's your ghostly person. And they're like, here's a like they'll be like, oh, I got doubling season. I'm like, oh, you can have it back. Sorry.
Before you read this next card, I've just got to ask you a question, Mr. Sherman.
Yes.
Remember Smaug?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not like I see this one and the following card, and I'm like, yeah. So we have corrupted conviction. This is why like I asked if you had like Hell's Caretaker or things like that. Right? Because like this, like with the liquid metal torque, you make it into like an artifact. You can like tap and untap it to like sacrifice a creature to bring back another creature from the graveyard. Keep on bringing it back during your upkeep, right? But anyways, so next card is Corrupted Conviction for a black. An additional cost to cast a spell, you sacrifice a creature. Smog, anyone? And you draw 2 cards when you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Then we've got Deadly Dispute. 1 in a black is an additional cost to cast it. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. Draw 2 cards and create a treasure.
Again, yeah, you're throwing a treasure away, still getting a treasure.
Yeah.
It's basically just draw 2 cards in this deck. Draw 2 cards and often drain me 13 life. Yeah. You got the generous gift, which is often not very generous to cast upon me. It's 2 and a white, destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green elephant token. More people need to destroy lands with this card. It's
I agree.
That might be a controversial take, but you need to blow people's lands up and stuff. Sometimes, although it might be mean, hitting someone's colored mana is hilarious.
I
Yeah.
do hate the fact that it is frowned upon to touch or destroy other people's lands constantly. Like, I understand you're getting rid of, like, it's harder for people to play the game, and people get salty. Like, even I get a little bit salty at times, but at the same time, like, this is why white was so weak.
Yeah,
in the past.
because people are unwilling to use what white is good for, which is the control of like that land and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's what white was good for, like Armageddon and all that stuff, right? Same thing with red.
There's again, if the format's attitude shifted and stuff, the power scaling does really change, because generally speaking, if I'm having a great game in white, let's say, or in green, I'm ramping out. I'm hitting my Lana Wars early. I'm hitting my cultivates, my like any of those things, right? My nature's lores, that kind of stuff. But I'm hitting that early. I'm not doing that late game. And if I'm at like 11 mana and I've spent dumping my mana and I get hit with an Armageddon and now I'm down all those cards, it's like I didn't even have those turns.
Yeah.
Now I'm stuck trying to draw 1 or 2 cards at a time and everything like that, while the white player is like doing the same. And
Well, I'm saying this mainly also because because when we don't punish decks like stuff like this, like I have, like, we were talking earlier, okay, my Gonti deck where I want to play it, but like I'm modifying it to literally steal people's lands. It's not to cast people's spells. It's modified to steal your lands. I have a Smeagol deck that's designed to steal your lands. Why do I do this? Because no one punishes me for this.
Yeah. Well,
I can literally have 20 lands and do whatever I want, and people can't do anything about it because there's not enough land destruction. Sure, you can put in like a ghostly quarter or a field of ruin, but then I still get to fetch something.
my entire deck building style is based around the fact that people refuse to touch lands in EDH. I run often 32, 33. Sometimes I even dip down to 30 lands. But it's because I know that people aren't going to touch my lands and stuff, right? So I know my deck's pretty low CMC. I'll eventually draw my other lands and stuff. So I'll get to that 3 or 4 mana. But if people start suddenly destroying lands and I have to sit there and try top deck for a land, that changes the math of how many lands I'm going to put in a deck by a large amount. Because again, if they're gone, we should destroy lands more. That's the take of this episode. Let's just change it over to this and stuff right now. This is just a 50-minute preamble into why you should blow lands up more. I'm a fan. Is all I'm saying. Let's make land destruction decks. What are we doing? Let's get Leshrac. The big problem with building Leshrac is I want to pair Leshrac with something, but no one. I'm pretty convincing. I'm a pretty convincing person, especially in person. No one's letting me illegal pair Leshrac to get access to other colors. No one's even letting me play Leshrac if I make a cumulative upkeep take your lands deck. No one's going to let that happen, but I want it so bad. I just want to pair Leshrac with anything. Could you imagine if you let me pair Leshrac with Windgrace and I can keep taking lands back? And it never happen. No one's going to let it. But I can dream. Anyways, back to your instance section, please.
Yeah, so we got next one. We're talking about land at the same time. Oh my goodness. We have Path to Exile. For a white, exile target creature. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle.
Technically, group hug. From a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
Technically, group hug.
Speaking of technically group hug, Swords to Plowshares. Single white, exile target creature's controller gains life equal to its power.
Yeah. You see it a lot. We've got the Unexpected Windfall as our final instant. As an additional cost to cast, you discard, draw 2 cards, create 2 treasures. That's a trade I will take in this deck anytime.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of the instance. We got our sorceries. We only have 3 sorceries,
Really
though.
quickly, do you have any lands that matter?
I think 1.
Treasure Vault, maybe?
Yeah, Treasure Vault's probably the only one. It's an artifact land. Tap for colorless or pay XX and tap it to sacrifice Treasure Vault and create X treasure tokens. Very good with Mahadi.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a lot
And
of.
the only other thing that might matter is like Rogue's Passage. It's because you have like Stormkiln, Artist, and you have Captain Lannery's Storm.
Yeah.
So, because those can get big real fast.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting one. Yeah, so we'll jump into that sorcery section. It's I think this whole sorcery section $3. So I like to see. We've got our first one, which is Blood Money, a card you never see played. 5 double black, destroy all creatures. For each non-token creature destroyed this way, you create a tap treasure token. That's quite the board wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Brass's Bounty for 6 in a red. For each land you control, create a treasure token.
Prospecting.
Yeah, exactly.
Prospecting.
Speaking of prospecting, the next one is a card I love to see played.
Yeah, rounding us out, there is Hell to Pay. X in a red. This art actually looks pretty similar to the braid art.
Let me see.
In like more so in just like colors and stuff.
Yeah, in the theming, yep.
But Hell to Pay deals X damage to target creature. Create a number of tap treasure tokens equal to the amount of excess damage dealt to that creature this way.
This card just embodies that I didn't ask how big the room was. I cast Fireball. Yeah.
I'll be sacrificing 60 treasures to have this X equal 59 and just bonk your 1/1.
Birds of Destruction.
Get rid of 60, create 59.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But you've sent quite the message.
Yeah.
You have quite the low mana curve in this deck.
Yeah.
2.85.
Yeah. And your color distribution is like nearly even for everything. Like it's looking at the chart and stuff in the video, you can see like I've got the chart pulled up here. You can see pretty good distribution of your black pips 24, white pips 13, red pips, and you've got 33 red producer, 32 black producer, 31 white. So you're pretty even on all of it. Like I like this deck.
Yeah. I'm glad.
I'm a big fan of how you built this one. You didn't use a ton of the crazy staples that you would think that you would see. Like you could have gone like a Mondrak, an Anointed Procession, XYZ. But I like seeing decks that don't just go that like predictable path. And again, when I'm playing and stuff, right, I'm holding up my removal for those cards because I can't let you have an Anointed Procession in a deck where you're playing that, right? So if I'm sitting there constantly holding my, well, I can't let him get that Smothering Tithe, I can't let him get that Anointed, right? Then you're saving it and you're not even rocking those.
Yeah, then it just doesn't ever come.
Yeah.
You can save your removal for my monologue tax.
Yeah,
if
exactly,
you'd like.
right?
Yeah.
The Vihaan is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Strong commander. Overall, very strong commander. You can like build it like so many different ways, and I don't like it's. You have so many win cons. So many win cons.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I like how you built this one. This one looks very fun.
Yeah.
It looks like it consistently is going to do what you want it to do, but in different ways and stuff. You didn't put any things that like really tutor, except you can tutor out like your Hellkite and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it looks like no matter what kind of way you draw, you're gonna draw into some ramp. You're pretty low CMC. Like you're gonna play lots of different games with this deck, and I like that. But you're gonna have the same kind of thing. A lot of treasure, a lot of drain options. This is very fun. And I like that a lot of your treasure generation is tied to silly things like that monologue tax, right? Where when you cast your second spell, that's when I get it, right? So you guys don't have to cast second spells. I just don't get my treasures in. That's fine. Cast one spell.
Yeah. Cast one spell. That's just fine with me.
Yeah, good, clean fun in the Magic games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Like it. This is a strong deck. if anyone plays this, it's like you are target number one, hands down, hands down. Like the amount of things that go with each other in this deck is kind of stupid. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, like no matter how you play it, it seems like you will be the problem by turn 3, turn 4. That's the honest truth. Like how I look at it, you will be the problem by turn 3, turn 4. Every single bloody time.
As well, you should be though.
Yeah.
That's what you should be. No, like it's really, really well built. Just looking at it overall, it's very well built. You definitely you will be generating a crap ton of treasures, and the fact that like whether you create them or attack with them or destroy them, or like you use them or get rid of them, you're still going to generate more, and you're draining everyone while gaining life. It's just like this is why you will be the problem by turn 3, turn 4, no matter what. The whole process of the life cycle of a treasure, you are screwed. You create a treasure, everyone loses life. Okay, you keep it around and you attack with it, everyone's losing life. You get rid of them, everyone's losing life. It's literally the life cycle of a treasure. No matter what part of the life cycle of the treasure is, you're still gonna die. This is like, this is like what, like watching like, like BBC Planet Earth, like the life cycle of a treasure. Let's take a look at this. Okay, Sloppy creates the treasure. It comes out. It hatches. Yay! Everybody take a damage. And it's like growing up. It's like cheep, 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 cheep. And then it attacks you. Everyone takes a damage. And then someone finds it and murders it. Oh, but you're going to sacrifice it. And everyone takes a damage again. Like, literally, at no point at all of the life cycle of a treasure you're not going to suffer.
Realistically, your worst case is it's still a treasure that's giving you mana. That's at its worst. That's the floor of your cards, is that it's still just treasure.
What is that's literally the floor. What's the ceiling? You literally hit people or drain people for life, or you hit them for like 3 damage or 10 damage. I don't know, bloody hell. But the floor is its card. It's acting like its own.
Yeah,
I like it.
Anyways,
yeah, I'm happy to end there. Sloth, you got any other thoughts on your decks?
Not really. If anybody does end up building this one and playing it, based off of the reaction of my two good friends here, use with caution. And always remember that the tokens have vigilance.
Do they have vigilance? That's a problem.
They have vigilance and haste.
Yeah, because they're assassins and they're outlaws.
They have haste too?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
But yeah, always remember that you can still tap them for mana after you attack.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's stupid. So stupid.
I've got some big respect for this deck. I like the direction you went. I'm gonna roll our outro and stuff, but just know that I'm a fan. If you guys liked what you hear and you want to build a deck like this, then hit us up. Show us what you guys think should be in and everything like that. If there's anything too expensive in here, go over to Abyss Proxy Shop. Promo code IT99. It's a great spot. If you like what you are hearing, and of course you do, this was a great episode. Like, share, subscribe. It really, really does help us out. Make sure that you are telling your friends to check it out. And if they don't check it out, preach the good word and beat them with decks similar to this. And take our advice from here. Destroy their lands. They would, if they had listened, they would be on the same path. If you want to go above and beyond supporting us, above like, share, subscribe, which is free, takes no time. Just click a button. But come and hang out on Patreon. It's a great place to chat. great people in the Patreon. It's wonderful. We're doing Patreon streams very, very soon. I promise. I say it all the time, but we are doing it for real. And yeah. Oh, and AI Armor makes great sleeves, and we have a lot of those new stuff. So check it out. You'll see it on Instagram, on the other things there. They're pretty cool, and you'll see a bunch of the gameplay stuff. And yeah, that's it. That's it, I think. Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think you missed anything.
Something.
You're good.
Have a great week. That's also there.
Yeah.
I missed
Thank you for listening.
All right, everyone. Let us.
I just let the song roll for a minute. Everyone, most people listening to this, they're in the middle of work right now. They have a nice, relaxing moment. Maybe your boss is mad. All right, back to reality. Done.
All right. Laters.
Should always put it up to my screen here. Now, all right.